To create an automated CASL reminder flow, create a new 360 project, name it, and proceed to the editor. The first thing you will need to do is build out your automated communication flow. First, grab a repeating trigger from the Starting Points tab and drag it down to your workspace. Then you'll need to grab a decision from the Choices and Delays tab. And an email campaign from the Campaigns tab. Connect your communication flow. Grab the blue arrow on the repeating trigger and drag it over to the decision, letting go to create a connection between the two. Now do the same to connect the decision and the email campaign. Now you've created your communication flow. It's time to set up the campaign logic and build out the touch points. First up, the repeating trigger. When you click on it, you can schedule the timing of a campaign. Use the first drop-down menu to choose the list you would like the consent request emails to go to. Next, select the date and time you would like for your first CASL email to go out and the end date for the campaign. We would recommend a time frame of 2 years to remain within the best practices of implied consent, but you do have a 3-year grace period that ends July 1st, 2017, as a hard deadline to gain express consent from current contacts. After you've indicated start and end dates, you will need to set your campaign interval. How often would you like the consent requests to go out? We would recommend once a month or once every 2 months so that your contacts have multiple opportunities to opt in. Once you've scheduled your campaign, you'll need to add decision logic to your campaign, so 360 knows who should and who should not receive consent request emails at the intervals specified. To do this, click on the branch that appeared between the decision and the email campaign. Click the blue button in the upper right-hand corner and select Decision Settings. For the first menu, select Contact. Then in the second, pick Time. Next, select Email_opt-in from the Pick a List field menu. This is where the express consent data is stored. From the third drop-down menu, labeled Pick a Way to Compare, select Not Equal. In the blank field that appears to the right, enter the number 0. Now, every time the repeating trigger is activated to send out consent requests at the intervals you specified, consent requests will only be sent to the contacts who have not already provided express consent, as determined by whether or not they already have a timestamp under the email_opt-in in their contact data. Now that your logic is all set up, you'll just need to build out the content of your email. Click on the blue button in the upper right-hand corner of the email campaign and select Start Setup Wizard. We have created a CASL template for you, so you will just have to select it from the template gallery before moving on to the design stage of the workflow. The CASL email template should be the first option available in the gallery. It is green and labeled CASL Consent Request. When you've opened the email in the editor, you can add your own logos, change the color and the styling of the email, and edit the text. You will notice there is a button in the email that's linked to this URL: %, re-opt-in, %. When recipients of the email click this button, the proof of their express consent will be timestamped and saved in our system for your records. You can change the colors, sizing, and style of the button, and even edit the text, but ensure that the URL remains the same. When the recipients of this email click the button, we will save the express consent information on a list field called Email Opt-in, so you will be able to tell who has and who has not provided express consent or opted in to receive CEMs whenever you go to send a message. This is the information 360 will use to determine who should receive consent request emails every time the trigger is activated. If a contact clicks the button to provide express consent, they will not be included in the next round of consent requests. The system will remove them from the communication flow you've created automatically. Once you're happy with your email, complete the rest of the workflow, and you'll be brought back to the 360 editor. Your communication flow is now complete. If you're happy with it and would like to activate the campaign, hit the Next button in the lower right-hand corner of the page. Use the Activate All or None button to activate your campaign. The statuses of each item in the campaign will turn to active in green text. If they do not, you have missed a step along the way. This flow you've just created is very simple, but it's a powerful and effective way to ensure that your mailing lists are all opted in properly when the deadline of those 36 months rolls around. For additional support, feel free to contact our support team.